take it out of space. Drop that bass in your face. Pick it back up, put it on the turntable, and drop that bass in your face. MCs wrapping it up with the tight production. Right off the rip, getting into something. Licking shots, triggering samples. Get the kettle on, I'm off the handle. Loud and rowdy, no further questions. Lighten up another kicking session. Whoa! Got two jobs, blow up and blow speakers, make beats and get your artist featured. Stack up drums, 2 pairs of fresh kicks. How many lumps do you want for your first hit? Sarcastic magic, beats above average, make a mental note. Get your head examined, sample my voice, royalty free. But your fire ain't enough to boil me.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy Ace, and with me tonight, I got my co-hosts, Christina and Chris. This is the Kicking It podcast. We do want to thank y'all for tuning in to this episode. We are kind of getting the groove of things. We were pretty much laughing a little bit before the episode got going. We're going to hate to bring it up, but we're going to keep that conversation off camera. But still, good conversations though. We definitely are appreciative of everybody that's been tuning in over the past few weeks. Um, you know how we get it started. Christina, how you doing tonight?
Man, I am doing great. A little tired, but I'm making it. You know, that age catching up to me.
Yeah, I can see it all in your face.
You know what? Listen, like I said, nobody said nothing about your patchy beard that you think you
First of
done
all,
moisturized tonight.
first of
You
all,
got your
it's
new
not
little bedtime routine where you trying to moisturize your beard. I see. It
it's
ain't
not
gonna grow.
patchy. It's not patchy.
You right. It's not because it's very much not there.
You know, you know what? I got a cut, so it got shaved down because it was a little bit, it wasn't as neat, but But at the end of the day, I mean, it's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, I still pull. That's all that matters.
Whatever.
That's all that matters.
Chris, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, man. Beard in effect, I'm doing good, man. I can't complain.
All right, tell everybody what you drinking tonight.
Tonight I got Johnny Walker Black, neat, 2 fingers. Cheers.
Old head.
Not an old head, it's a sophisticated palate. You can't be drinking amaretto sours all your life and whiskey sours and sex on the beach.
You know, I
Yes.
seen Christina pass out of the boy for putting sex on the beaches.
That's what I'm saying.
Whatever.
Had to check the drink. If somebody put something in that drink, she just passed out. Like, ask the bartender, what you put in there? He's like, not much, but yeah. Oh. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and jump into this. Talk about these releases that are coming up this week. We're pretty
Yay.
light. Yeah, we're pretty light on releases coming up. So I do want to post news. I did hit on the Travis Scott trainers, the green trainers, and before the show I tried them on. They came today and they're too big.
Damn.
I bought an 11. Normally I'm a 10.5. I thought a trainer would run small, and yeah, thought today was going good, and kind of, I've been doing that a lot lately, Chris. As you know, I've been getting the wrong size in a lot of shit lately.
Yeah. I'm a solid 12. I'm a solid 12. 10 times out of 10, I'm a 12.
I
Certain
mean, like
things I get an 11.5 and New Balance
okay.
sometimes.
I mean, I don't know. I've never really not hit on sizes before in terms of just, I got to get that together. I mean, I did that with the KDs, as you know. And then I did it with some Air Max 95s, the Levi 95s last year. And then I made a mistake and did it again with the the Greedy Air Max 95 that came out. got
Mhm.
a 10.5 instead of an 11. So sneakers just pre puts your size, your usual size in there, and I'm just trying to rush. It was stalling. I'm thinking like, let me just get through her, and instead of changing the size, I just hit submit. Boom, got them. I'm like, okay, I got them, and then looked at the shipping shit. I'm like, oh fuck, got them, but I got the wrong size. Yeah, so
That sucks.
yeah, Ace is not. I'm a little disappointed tonight, but I'm gonna do the show, but I'm gonna be swinging at the
Throw
this
some
evening.
insoles in it.
Yeah, pretty. Oh hell, no, the insult thing. They slip it in the back. That's always your solution, but they slip it in the back. I don't know. Like I just that don't that solution don't work for me, unfortunately. But I'm gonna see if I can find a shoe store around locally that has them that'll get them within the next week or so, and hopefully do a size swap. Hopefully they don't try to hit me over the head with some bullshit fee. Saying we'll do it, but for $60. No, fuck you. I'm not paying $60 for a size swap. You could no disrespect intended this, but you kiss my ass for that. Like $60 for a size swap? No.
Mhm.
No. I'd rather just return the shoe to fucking Nike and
Mhm.
just deal with it. No. Let somebody else come up, see it in the store, like, oh shit, why is this there? Nah, I'm not no. I'm not paying $60 for a size swap. I'm not gonna call out the particular store. There's two of them that I really don't fuck with. And but Pete, they just culture vulture lousy motherfuckers, and I really can't stand them. But yeah, let's get into these releases. As I said 2-3 minutes ago, and I got sidetracked. Not much coming out this week. We do have. I mean, even though not much is coming out, still one of the biggest releases of the year is dropping. If you have not entered a raffle by now, I mean, if you're hearing this now, it's probably too late. Um, the Tell me out, Chris. What is dropping
Virgil
this?
Abloh.
The off-white Alaska retro ones are dropping this. Is it Friday or Saturday?
Believe it's Saturday. I could be
Okay.
wrong.
Yep, on the third. So they are dropping. And the third is tomorrow's the first. No, the third is Friday.
Yeah, it is Friday.
Yeah, the third is Friday. Yeah,
Yeah,
so they'll be
Friday.
dropping on Friday. Most raffles will be letting you know if you got the shoe or if you hit um, probably by Thursday evening. So it's one of those things to where that look as all I can say is just may the guys be with you because that is going to be a very hard raffle to win.
Mhm.
Let me knock on wood because Chris, I know you and me have entered it. Christina, did you enter to Willow?
Nah, I didn't.
Is a pass for you?
Yeah, it's a pass for me. They nice, they clean. I ain't gonna hold you, but it's a pass for me.
I, I'm kind of you. Of course, I mean you. I like them. I mean but it's just Chris. Would you actually wear the shoe?
Trade bait. I ain't even gonna fake it.
Trade
Mm,
bait?
Yeah.
I just don't. Why risk it? I mean, I know that there are many people who buy shoes and like if I'm gonna buy a shoe, it's not just about to sit. I'm gonna wear it. I
Yeah.
follow a couple people on TikTok who I've developed good friendships with that say, no matter what the shoe is, they're gonna wear it. They're gonna rock it. Me, it has to be a special occasion. Like that's some shit that certain shoes, like particularly that one, I'd have to be going to a wedding or some shit.
yeah,
You
that's
know,
definitely a good wedding shoe.
like a
Something
special
clean.
occasion. Yeah, a
Yeah,
special occasion. Like I ain't gonna wear that shit to go to Applebee's, and that ain't like definitely ain't the move. Just I don't. Nah, it's shoes like that. There are a particular grouping of shoes to where it's that Chris. I keep a lot of my shoes in a unit, but it's particular shoes that I keep with me. I don't care what it is. It's just certain, brick by bricks. What else came out last year? Like any SB Jordan collab, like just special ones like the Levi collabs, anything. Like certain shit I just keep with me. And this definitely one that I would definitely keep and probably get, you know, I might even display it, but that's one of those things to where that I just don't see myself wearing it. I mean, it's a nice talking piece, but just something I want to jump into later is just that people don't you it's not the same to me in terms of like when you wear a sought after shoe or a dope shoe, you don't get the same reaction. I don't feel the same anymore. It,
Nah,
it,
it's
it's
not
just
the same. I remember when when Yeezys was a thing. I know I bring
mm,
that up often, but when Yeezys was a thing, when the Beluga came out, I got the Beluga and I wore them to the mall. And I can't remember how many times people was like, the reactions that people got, but that was like
right,
2016 or whatever,
right,
2015,
basically.
2016. And people was like, man, how you get those
Or you
dope, this,
or you
pop, pop,
bold as
pop.
hell for wearing some fake ones, right?
Who?
No,
Shit, never. I'll wear some
no.
real K Swiss before I wear some fake anything. Never.
Nah, but no, I mean, yeah, like if you had any, especially like the zebra Yeezys when they first came out, like you had
Yep.
any Yeezy, like you were Yeezy release day. My very
Hmm.
first one working with you. What was it? Was it the Beluga 2.0? I believe it
Could
was.
have been shit. It all
I
blended together
just
because that was
yeah.
a crazy time.
I know it was the gray. It was the gray one. It wasn't a beluga, but it was gray. It was the one that came out, I think, a year or two after the beluga. But I just remember, like Yeezy release day was it was a sight to see at the mall. It was just crazy how much traffic you got, people looking, the trade things. It was definitely peak sneakerhead culture,
It
and
was.
yeah, it's just man, you just don't get the same type of reaction anymore, and I just don't. I don't know. I mean, maybe if you go to specific events, Christina got me saying specific like how she said, but if you go certain places, certain people will recognize it, but it's just not the same anymore. I mean, it's changed. I mean, a lot. So this particular one would be something I definitely would say would be on ice for a while. I mean, maybe I don't. It takes me 2 years to wear my shoes anyway, so that's something that might not get broke out until maybe shit. By the time I break them out, there'd be another off white out. So,
Yeah.
Hmm.
but again, that's just me. What else is dropping? This again, like we're pretty light on drops this week. I mean, I'm even covering. It looks like we're getting another pair of Diamond Turf 2s, and this one is going to be the sail and blue gray color, which is more of like a Dallas Cowboys color, which we basically kind of just got in December. This is just the second version of the shoe. So, I mean, Chris, I've never known you to really do anything with Diamond Turfs. What would you say about this shoe? Do you even care for the Diamond Turfs? I've never heard you even say anything about them.
No, it's not my flavor. It's a good looking shoe, but it's definitely not my flavor at all. I would never purchase.
Yeah, I definitely bought the red ones. I hit on sneakers, but if you try, you hit automatically because they didn't sell out. I think they eventually sold out on Nike, but that shoe is definitely sitting somewhere. Typically all red shoe with any of the Nike signatures from back in the '90s typically always sells out. I know later this year the red Griffin Max is finally re-releasing I think for the first time since 2018. And if that doesn't sell out, then I'm just gonna say sneakers are pretty much dead. Because I'm being honest, it's certain stuff that's just not selling out that is surprising me. Like the KDs, like these are things that back in the 2010s that you had to know somebody almost to get. Like the PB&J KDs that just came out, the sixes, those are still sitting. I mean, the All-Star, the Illusion KD6s, those are sitting. I mean, hell, the white, red, and black 13s, or you go to Foot Locker right now and get a size. It's just
Mm.
crazy.
Can't come to my
Uh,
store and get them.
oh yeah, definitely. Like not
Yeah.
here in the Lou. Like it's especially it was what 314 day. Jordan Brand pretty much knew how to market that in St. Louis. They hit that right on the head. Another thing that's coming out, it looks like tomorrow, which would probably be today if you're listening to the podcast, which is April Fool's Day. It looks like the Sabrina 3, the What the is releasing. Now, this is, I mean, pretty much pastel colors for me. It doesn't, nothing spectacular about the shoe. I do like the design. This is something that tomorrow I may attempt to get. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. But just kind of going into the Nike basketball, they've gotten away from the what the's. They don't do that much anymore. I know they did it recently with the book too, but Chris, have you come across any Sabrina threes in your store, or what do you think about it?
Not the threes, but I've had them in my stores before. But they all look real similar. It's not. It's not. It's hard to differentiate between the Sabrinas, like the original, the 2, the 3. They just all look really, really similar. And I I mean, I just can't. I don't understand. I don't know if they don't want to take chances with the design language with the shoe or what, but they just I can't get off into them. I know it's a real popular shoe to play in because it's a lot of NBA players that wear them, and there's people
Yeah,
that come in asking for them, but they just look so similar. Even the Asia 2 looks really similar to the first one.
yeah, that's dropping May 2nd. I do want to touch on that how similar they look because I believe that I read that there's a reason behind that, but I do want to ask Christina what she thinks about it since she is a hooper, and I know that that's pretty popular, like you said, amongst hoopers. What do you think about them, Christina?
I think they're nice, but like Chris said, they are just similar. There's no risk to them. There's no big change. But I know sometimes when Nike do make a big change, people like, oh, they don't really go for the shoe. That it's not the stability of it, but definitely, if I see personally, if I seen a 2 and a 3 next to each other, it's like to my eye, I'll probably know the difference knowing sneakers. But to somebody else that's just walking in, they wouldn't know if they were just sitting right next to each other. They would just be like, "Oh, it's the shoe," in my opinion.
I get that. I can see that with the 1 and the 2. It was hard for a minute for me to be able to tell the difference between the 2 at first, but the 3 is it's not very different, but I guess because I like the Sabrina line and I bought a few, I do see the distinct difference in the 3 between the 3 and the 2. However, I will also say that, yes, they are very similar to someone who doesn't follow the line or to the average consumer. They are definitely very similar. But that kinda goes along the line of, most players that are or have signature shoes now, the shoe that they wore before that was a Kobe. And to be honest with you, just about all Kobe's with the exception, like, once they got to the 4, pretty much the 4 up through what was that? The Kobe 9, they all look the same. I mean, maybe a little bit slight casing changing on the bottom, but Kobe 4s through 9s are very similar, and that's kind of along the design concept. Because not Caitlin, but, Sabrina's shoes are modeled after Kobe.
Mm.
I mean, there are a lot of Sabrina 2s that, hell, look like
They
Kobe's,
look just like
just
Kobe.
like
Yeah,
Kobe. Yeah. That's a popular shoe. Kobe's are popular, and that's why, Sabrina shoes are very popular amongst, hoopers nowadays. It's just that's kind of the thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if the 4 looks very similar to the 3. I think that, Nike has something that works. Sabrina shoes sell very well, um, and it's one thing about Nike is the very few things that they're taking chances on nowadays. With that being said, I mean, I know we touched on this in previous episodes. They are taking some chances, but I think that those chances are going to cause them to revert back to being a little bit more conservative because the concept of the Jive 4s, I don't know if y'all can pull that up or if y'all seen them. Them shits is ugly. Like them shits is
What did they?
ass.
What happened? What are they doing?
Man, if you, I know you can't because you have the, the phone set up, but yeah, the Jive 4 looks like, I don't, let me see if I can show y'all this on camera because this is a fucking, I don't think they serious about it.
Oh, I just pulled it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the red one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That red one, yeah.
That looks like that's a piece of shit.
Mm.
Definitely an outlet pickup. That look like some sock darts.
Yeah, they do look like some socks.
Hell, like that's one like you kind of like, oh shit, they turning up on the jawline, and then you see that you hell nah, like nah, bro, I would not. I try to get one of each sneaker from most of the lines, but yeah, that Job 4, I would have to get them like as a gratis gift somewhere. I'm not paying my hard earned money or using my hard earned after-pay budget on them. No, ma'am, no, sir.
Yeah, they ain't
That
it.
ain't that's some bullshit. I mean, like I said, Katie's shoe, like he debuted. We talked about it a little bit last week. Again, I got to see a few more colors of it, but it's so. Like I said, Nike when they do take chances, they've been missing a lot more than what um they usually do in terms of some of their signature shoes. But I am interested to see what Caitlin Clark's shoe looks like. I know that it will probably sell out when it first releases, just like Asia's shoe sold
Definitely.
out.
Yeah.
And Kay Cunningham got a shoe he got a signature, but I doubt that it comes out this year. It'll probably be more so like later next year.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm interested to see what they have to offer, and pretty much that's really it in terms of releases. I know we got off into a few more things, but yeah, nothing really dropping this during this episode. We're pretty much dry on the release date, but good luck to everybody who is going to try to get the off-white ones. We will come back next week, let you know our results. I'm gonna have Christina put in a raffle for me since she ain't getting it for herself. So not gonna
You
send
gotta
you my
make sure you
credit
get
card
the right
information.
size. Man, go
Yeah,
ahead
I'm
and
not
send me
gonna.
that.
Yeah, but
I
I
promise I
will.
won't order anything I shouldn't order.
Well,
Shouldn't
shit,
order.
you can, but it's gonna be just enough for them fucking for them off whites. So just know if the off whites hit and you trying to get something else, I ain't never got to turn my credit card off because that motherfucker is maxed. So ain't shit going through on that. So I ain't worried about that. But yeah. All right. So one thing that I definitely want to get into with the title of the episode being what are we really chasing right now? The one thing that I wanted to talk about is basically just not necessarily in regards to shoes, and we're kind of venturing off just into more of a life conversation. What's the goal anymore, just in terms of life, like compared to traditional success versus, what people nowadays deem as success? Because I just saw there was a video on IG where a girl posted, she was happy. She got a job working for Pepsi and 9 to 5, she said she make 24 an hour and, full time. And she was geek. And some influencer took the video, remade it, and said, $24 an hour ain't shit. He makes $300, an hour streaming. First of all, I think that's a real shitty way to shit on people. But what what is success nowadays? I mean, what is y'all take on that? Like, Christina, what do you have to kind of add to that to say about it?
I mean, I think nowadays success, like I would say prior, there were like tiers of level of success, right? Because it was like we were kind of taught like go to school, get the degree, go to corporate, to climb the corporate ladder, and boom, that's success. right? Versus now we have so many
Say
other
say
ways.
success one more time.
Shut up, okay? Shut up. Anywho, that's what the goals were, us growing up and what we were kind of taught, which makes sense because that's what our parents knew of and that's what they taught us. But of course, growing up now and us being the adults, it's like, okay, that worked for some, didn't work for all. And then now we're in this space of we get burnt out at these corporate locations. We're trying to see other ways to do income and things like that. And I feel like now with social media, between all the ages, everything seems like it's all meshed together. Because we used to, like in our 20s, we made this amount of money. Our 30s, we made this. For somebody, I don't know how old that young lady is, but I didn't come
Mhm.
out of college making $24 an hour. Let's be
Right.
real. I didn't get that until I was kind of mid 20s. But so to me, I feel like that's fine if you're coming out of college. That's a lot more than what we were making, right? But yes, other people are going to make more money doing other things that they do, the communities they build online and things of that nature. So I feel like the lines are very blurred because people see different money levels and what they do and success. Because some people want to work corporate, some people don't. So that's how I see it.
It ain't it ain't nobody that's working a regular job that you'll ever find me not having the utmost respect for because there's so many other things you could be doing, so many negative things you could be doing, so much bullshit you could be into. But to get up and go to a job, a 9 to 5, I don't give a fuck what you're doing. You could be pushing courts. It's really about, to me, it's really about trying. I
Mhm.
mean, everybody ain't gonna fucking get that 6-figure job. Everybody don't get there, right out of college. You gotta start some fucking where. And to shame anybody who, gets up and goes to a 9 to 5 or works any kind of job, like, you know, it, it pisses me off. I don't even want to fuck with nobody who has that mindset, or looks down at anybody. I try to treat, everybody with the same cup of kindness that I hope somebody would, treat me too. But you just never know at the end of the day, like where you could end up or what, side of the spectrum you end up on. Because I mean, by the grace of God, there go I. I mean,
Mm.
Chris, I mean, you pretty much see it. I mean, you work in a mall, so I mean, you see people of different walks of life. I mean, on a day to day basis. What's your opinion on it?
Yeah, I see it all the time. But from my standpoint, I just try not to gauge my success from someone else's success or lack thereof. I mean, because I have really good friends of mine that are really successful. They have the fancy cars, um, and things of that nature. But they're my friends, and I'm not envious of them. When they come up, I congratulate them, and I don't think less of myself because what because they may appear to be more successful or have
Mhm.
more monetary things or things in their life. That's the whole thing. Social media, Instagram, TikTok, that's not a real place. And I just try to instill that in my daughter, and you just have to remind yourself of that. It's not a real place. It's for entertainment only. That's the reason I go in there for entertainment, because for a young lady who's making $24 an hour, I don't know if she has any kids, if she has any kids, or if she doesn't, if she's single, or whatever the case may be, if you're making an honest living 24 hours an hour, that's $24 an hour.
Mhm.
That's you got some income coming in. That's good. So to shit on somebody about them going to work and making an honest living is just it's just whack. Um, so yeah, I just don't gauge my well being off of other people. You know.
You know, speaking of like friends and being envious of them, I'm gonna have an honest moment with you and tell you that I've told you before that since I lost my father, you've been like a father figure in my life. You've been a good friend. I've kind of horrible the thing to where that I've been envious of you in a sense that I've known you for almost 10 years now, and I've never seen you mad. Never. And no, I'm saying this coming from a person who, I'll cuss anybody out in a heartbeat. I'm ready to, you know, I'm with it whenever. But it's more of a thing to where is that, man, just being able to brush everything off, just being able to not let things get under your skin and just be able to be happy no matter what. I mean, I know that there are things that probably, stress you out that you deal with, that,
100%.
yeah, that you haven't shared. But the one thing that, with that being said is in this life, I've learned that the one goal should be to simply be happy. And
Mhm.
that happiness is going to be different from what one person has it or what one person sees. Being happy should be your ultimate goal. And I used to think, being happy was, making the six figures or, having these material things. Man, honestly, if my bills are paid, my daughter is good,
Mm.
and I'm able to come on this thing with y'all, and whether we have 100,000 views or we have 100 views, I'm happy to just be able to do something that I'm enjoying and with two people that I do respect and care about, on a week to week basis. Man, this is like the highlight of my week. This is happiness for me.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of times is that, like you said, what is emulated on Facebook, TikTok, and social media kind of sets people as to what their expectations of what true happiness is. But honestly, I've been there. I've worked the high end jobs and I've had all the material things, the nice cars, the big lofts, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like shit, some of them times have been some of the most miserable times of my life.
Mhm.
Some of the times I felt the most alone. You had the most of people. I've had a lot of people around me, people I thought were friends, people who, you know, I thought, cared or just, was in it, with me to the end. But man, you really learn like when you go through shit or you fall off, you learn who your real friends are. And that's another reason why I've taken, in this season of my life, I've taken kind of a step back from social media, particularly, Facebook, um, what is that? Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, the things to where is that I would constantly see, these things of people portraying these lifestyles that aren't, really factual. So, and not just that, there are some people that, have these, or really, actually living, their life. And sometimes you can take that and you can look at it and it could make you, reevaluate your own life. And then now you're trying to measure your life up against somebody else's. I think that that's just a natural habit to where is that you compare your progress to somebody else's, and that ain't the way to go about it. I mean, everybody do not get to the point of happiness the same way. Some people it takes them a little bit longer. It's like a maze. Some people find that straight path to it. Some people have to go around, make mistakes, and then finally run into a dead end, tread back, and then go another way. I mean, it's definitely one of those things into which you really have to learn to find your own happiness, your own true North Star, and go for that, like, no matter what nobody thinks, and I think that's the hardest part. A lot of people say that they don't care what people think, but part of the reason we on social media is to get validation from people that either don't care about you or we probably don't even fucking know, which is crazy to me, when especially when you take a step back from it and you try to build that relationship with self, which I've been trying to do, it really makes you realize the little things that are important, and it also makes you value the people that you build connections with. I mean, the very few people that I talk to now are people that, on a day to day basis, are people that add value or something to my life. Not to say that people I'm not talking to don't, but it just makes you realize that there are part of being happy in life is also setting boundaries too,
Yeah.
so it's definitely something that I've learned in this season of my life and that I'm definitely trying to take to the max. Just just trying to be the best version of myself. I think that that should be everybody's goal, to be the best version of yourself, be better than what you were the last day, learn from it, and just keep progressing. Because one of the things I think that the culture suffers from is that, and I don't know why, but there's a pressure for everybody to feel like that they have it figured out. I mean, do you get that sense that Christina, like that, especially with our age group, like, do you feel like everybody feels like, or they should have it together? Like, oh, I'm buying properties and shit, or I got 401ks, and it's like you have to,
Right.
it,
I think so, especially like our age group. I feel like some things we were taught, some things we weren't, you know. I think a big thing is about like financial literacy. And I feel like in our community sometimes we don't know those things that we don't know. And then it's the thing of learning. And I think sometimes like social media, like Chris said, it's not a real place. And I agree to a certain extent, but then also it's what you consume on social media that could be like your real place, right? Because some of us, we just scrolling, we see the stuff, they make our For You page what it is on all platforms, right? Besides, when you following certain people, you're just following those. But then in that retrospect of who you follow, right? Me as a person, I may follow somebody more so into gym fitness, right? But I might follow those that are a little bit more curated to that side, or someone who teaches financial literacy, or I'm a person that read books, those type of things. I curate those things that I follow myself, and then it's like I'm not looking to put my life towards theirs, I'm looking for some actual knowledge, right? So
right.
that part, how you curate it, I feel like that's the real place, right, of that. But then you got people that, like Chris said, you have to tell these kids like it is not a real place because what you see all the time and how people have edited, put things and everything, that stuff is not real. It's just like we watch TV when we was kids. We used to see the shows like, oh, people wake up in the morning and give this morning stretch and kiss, and they got breakfast in the sunlight. Man, we still wake up nowadays for work. It still be dark. You ain't got no breakfast. You try to get a cup of
Right.
coffee, grab lunch, grab the laptop, trying to get yourself out the door on time, fight traffic. On TV, we ain't see none of that. But
Right.
in real life, that's what it is, So of course TV is not real. That part of social media is not real. And I think we're all trying to see like if we're winning, but then our levels of winning are totally different, in life and in stage because sometimes I've seen, of course, in this time, people like, man, I had to move back home. That
Yeah.
happens for people. It's a real thing, especially in this time of jobs and trying to do that type of stuff. That people like, man, I went back to live with my parents for the time being, or us. A lot of times we bought that house, that percentage was too high. Like, hey, having a house is way more than I expected. People, we don't know what we don't know until we find out, and then we got to take a step back. So I think it's just like you said, it's just those different levels of it.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the one thing that I will say is that, when you say TV isn't real, I would definitely agree with that. Why I want to touch on that is because have y'all ever watched any of these like fucking TV shows, like think about Friends or anything from that nature, and just ask like, what the fuck do these people do for a living?
Yes.
Mhm.
To afford, like, it's certain, like, I can't tell you what the fuck did Rachel was a fucking did she work in a fucking coffee shop?
A part of the time, some of the time she did.
Yeah, how
I
the
don't
fuck
know.
did you afford to pay half the rent in New York?
Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't. Yeah, TV definitely sets a false expectation because when I was a kid, I thought my adult life was gonna be like living single.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shit, it's more like everybody hates Chris, and I'm a dad. Like, the shit. Like, this shit,
Right.
this shit is, it's being an adult shit. Like, I used to always, I can't wait till I get grown. Now this shit is stressful. You need, you know, a job of and you have to. Another thing we don't talk about is that fuck the hourly pay. What kind of benefits are you getting? Because
Listen.
health fucking insurance is important now. Like, if you out here
Mhm.
with no
Mhm.
benefits, that's That's risky.
Mhm.
Listen,
Yep.
it definitely makes a difference. The salary or the hourly, but
Mhm.
the other stuff that comes along with it. Because
Yeah.
my wife just had to make a decision with with her career going forward. And it was, we did the pros and cons, pros and cons. She was going back and forth, back and forth. But the company that she chose to go with, they had better benefits, and they also
Mhm.
had stock options that just put
Oh,
them over the
yeah.
top. So you just have to consider everything that a company or whatever you're looking for has to offer, whether it be going to college, going to school, a company, just like I said, or anything. You just have to weigh all the options outside of just okay, monetary. What are they paying me? But you gotta look at the other stuff because, like I say, companies don't do stock options like that.
No, they don't. Like, and you know, just with having health insurance, that's one of the first questions I ask them on a date. Do you have health insurance?
Damn.
No, for real. Like, cause if you just out here just living your life and just you ain't got no PCP or you don't got no access to no medications or anything. Like, not only just that, from a health standpoint, but a mental health standpoint. Like, a lot of us need therapists. Mental health is the most important, one of the most important aspects of your daily life. Because therapy has changed my life. I mean, just being honest with you, it having a outlet to be able to sit there and kind of like talk out everything to yourself. And sometimes hearing yourself say some shit, you kind of point out like, damn, I'm kind of that shit really don't sound right. I'm kind of fucked up for that, or that. Maybe I looked at that wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have cussed that lady out. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe I shouldn't have gave this my energy, or maybe I didn't have to have that road rage in the morning. Maybe I could have just let that shit go, or somebody cut me off and I decided to follow them to the gas station, and then yeah, it's a bunch of shit that, you just think about that makes you realize that a lot of your behaviors, and again, it's not saying that that's your fault, because the one thing in therapy, it isn't about finding about what you're wrong about and who, right or anything. It's really just learning that sometimes you've been going through life dealing with shit and you've just been unaware of you might need to be diagnosed. I mean, a lot of people have ADHD, some people are autistic, some people have been living their lives and not properly diagnosed. It
They
completely
cope with
it can change their
things.
life. Yeah,
Yeah.
you need coping skills. You need to be able to, one thing that I've learned in therapy, I'd say the most important coping skill that I've learned is being able to put my thoughts on trial. Like, how does this benefit you? What's the benefit of this reaction or giving this your energy? What good is that gonna do you if you react this way? Like, what are the potential repercussions of that? Is it worth it? Just being able to do that sometime in real time. And it's hard, but sometimes also having to learn to be able to step back and say, okay, I'm not in the right space to be able to react to this. So maybe I should just bow gracefully, put this on the back burner, excuse myself, or ask for a minute, because
Mhm.
everything doesn't deserve a reaction right then and there. Sometimes you have to really be able to think. And I realized that a lot of decisions that I personally made, if I would have stopped to think for a minute or given myself some time, I probably would have made a completely different decision. So
Oh,
it,
good.
it's yeah, it's definitely a lot that I think that nowadays, you have to deal with. Social media does make that you know, can make it a lot harder, but it also, there are beautiful things about social media that I think that don't get highlighted because finding community. I mean, a lot of times, like before social media, a lot of times you didn't find people who maybe had the same niche as you or might been, into the same things as you now. I mean, I can't tell you how many sneakerhead friends I got across the country, that I've just met, some that will feature on the show. I've made some good contacts, but you know, it it pretty much social media can be the matrix.
It definitely can. I think with, in our community, the stigma around going to therapy. And like you said, you ask people, health insurance. Because I ask people, like, have you been to a therapist? Because you have some conversations with people, and you be like, hey, you tripping. Have you been to a therapist? And some people, some people take it the wrong way. Some people take it the right way, like, oh yeah, I'm open to therapy and things of that nature. Because I'm a very even keel, chill person till you piss me off, and then it's like, hey, chill out. Don't I worked on myself. Let me stay where I worked on myself at. But I
Mhm.
feel like our community, we said, growing up, it was always, I'm not going to no therapy. I ain't crazy. In real
Mhm.
life, a lot of us, we have certain little chemical imbalances in our brain. Obviously, ADHD, bipolarism, schizophrenic, all those health things that could really be a big thing. And I think um, our generation is taking those mental health things really into consideration, which I believe is a great thing in our community. Between black men and black women, I feel like we're getting on that same page of like one holding ourselves accountable for the things that we do, seeking the help, getting the medicine we may need, being diagnosed with the proper things, and going through those channels. So but I also think social media, for the people who may not do that, it's the constant that constant thrill of dopamine that people get, of course, even with just regular coping mechanisms of what they have. People who drink coffee, caffeine, addicted to those things, vaping and all that other stuff, it's that same dopamine level people get, and some people need that thrill of a reaction of like, if something too calm for too long, they're like, I need some fun, I need something to peak my dopamine level. And I think that's the other thing with social media. You just keep watching stuff and keep seeing things, so that's a little bit of
Sound
a
more.
downside to it.
That sound more like a hype, like a cokehead. Like just some, just
Listen,
shit.
there's some people out there that be doing that, but, we not going there. That's not what the show is about at
Uh,
all.
we definitely do not endorse drug use on this show. On the Kicking It podcast, we do not endorse, you know, whatever they call it, that white girl or
White horse.
yeah, or that booger sugar. We don't no. We do not endorse that. We do not endorse that at all. But
But
again, if that go ahead.
speaking to therapy, the other end of the spectrum, that's one end of the spectrum is what Christina was talking about being, and what you were talking about being diagnosed. The other end of that spectrum is, you know, eventually, soon, well, not, I don't know how soon, I'm going to have to go to therapy myself, because I'll share that, I'm a caregiver, as along with my wife, taking care of my mom. And when you have to take care of a parent that has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and sometimes that doesn't know who you are, um, it'll mess with you.
Oh yeah.
It'll mess with you. And I've gotten a whole lot better with it, dealing with it on a daily basis. But yeah, I was talking to my wife. I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to have to sit down and talk with someone,
Yeah.
um, because just mentally, it messes with you. And I just have to recognize it, and I'll deal with it. But if I didn't have my wife and my daughter, I'd be balled up in a corner somewhere.
I couldn't
Thought you was
imagine
gonna say
going
you was
through
gonna be bald. I'm like, you already bald, but
Wow.
but
that. um, I just couldn't imagine that, man. Just your parent, someone who, gave birth to you, that you seen known your whole life, that has raised you, just being able to, see her and she don't recognize you. That fucks with you.
Oh, 1000%. Like last week, maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, she called me by my name, and me and my wife looked at each other and was like, I mean, we were like blown away. Like she said, Chris. I was like, oh my God, she called me by my name. And that was just amazing to me
Hmm.
because, she don't I mean, she'll literally say, "Can I ask you a question?" I'd be like, "Yes, ma'am. What you need? What's your name?" And the first time that just I had to walk
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, that yeah, I can yeah, that
Or
would
she'll call me sir. Thank you,
that
sir. I'm like, your son,
Yeah,
but
but when they do remember, you gotta take it as a win. I mean, I
Oh,
went
heck
through
yeah.
that. My granny, which is my mom's mother, she had Alzheimer's and she have her days. She and she lived with us. So that it was a like every day. Sometimes she remembers, sometimes you don't. You be like, but sometimes do things repetition, try to help with that and make it a little bit easier. But I definitely understand the feeling of that, Chris, because I watched my mom go through. My mom's the only
Yeah.
child, so she had to deal with
mm,
that as like,
Same.
yeah, you don't have any siblings, you have to deal with this head on because it's all on you. So, I'll keep you in my thoughts and prayers and everything for that.
definitely keep you in my prayers. You talk to me some about it, and it's just something that, man, I just don't. I consider you like family, so I definitely will, always pray for you. It's just one of them things that, man, I don't think that anybody is ever prepared for that. And,
No.
kudos to
Until you're
you.
in
And
it.
I know,
Yeah.
yep, I know that, it's a day to day struggle to just even be here and being able to step away and do this. We definitely appreciate you. And
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's somebody listening out there that can relate to it or has dealt with it. And I know it's not easy to talk about, but it's part of the. This can be therapeutic at times, being able to you know share things and realize like I may be not alone, or there are people out here who have experienced the things that I've experienced. So yeah, definitely, man, that's heavy, but at the end of the day, I know you pretty much handled it like a champ. So
Yeah, we
And
definitely
just
gonna be
happy
again,
to be
let's
praying
go
for
here.
back
you.
to like talking about the community, right? Because you find somebody, people will, go through those things, express it online and say, this is what I'm going through, dealing with being a parent, a caregiver of their parents. You have people who do show those things, of course, people who don't, but then you have those people that's going to watch that because they're going through that, building that, that type of community. It's like, that's what I say. Sometimes internet can be a good thing depending on how you use it.
No, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, that just take me back to, community. I mean, the first time I met Christina, I mean, my car was stuck in a ditch and she pushed it out. She was able to,
Bro, I ain't even that strong, but whatever. Whatever.
I seen you push a couple of box Chevys up hill. So,
Whatever, man.
but
Chevy
no,
my
man.
favorite car.
Yeah. Which Chevy though?
I still have an Impala, 2010.
20 2010.
No, I got 2016. 10. They stopped making them in 2019. I want to say, well, Impalas, yeah, 2019. I think they stopped making them in 2019,
You
which is
probably throw
terrible.
police. You could throw police lights on now.
Listen, I probably could, but down
Uh,
here they got the trucks. You rarely see a car down here for
a lot
police.
of
They got big SUVs down here.
yeah, a lot of police. I even see that up here. I mean, I still see a car, but
Yeah.
mainly it's
But
trucks.
mainly
Like
street driving, it's
yeah,
gonna be you'll see the cars every now and then when I feel like when it's a big call, you end up seeing the cars, but even see a big call, you see mostly trucks when they show up because Dallas, baby, they be doing some things down here. Gotta stay out the
yeah.
way.
I already know, man. I already know. Shit is crazy. I mean, what can we say? This is a crazy world that we live in. Well, with that being said, I think that, this is a good stopping point. Again, I hate having, to ever have a stopping point. I wish that sometime we could go for hours, but I think that, we can definitely save some of this stuff for later. Final thoughts, Chris, what are your final thoughts this evening?
Um, I think I just say uh focus on you and yours. Don't compare your life to anybody else's, and live every day to the fullest.
What about you, Christina?
I mean, I gotta agree with Chris. Take care of yourself. Make sure your mental health is right. Live in your truth, live how you see fit, however that may go, don't compare and find your community. We can be a part of the community, like say listen to our podcast. We have different topics every week that we come across. We're always gonna talk about sneakers, but we talk about some real things. So again, join our community, listen in every week, follow us on social media. So yeah.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate the support. I've definitely been getting a lot of positive feedback from a lot of people that have tuned in, and again, we appreciate it. Hell, if we get one like, we gonna celebrate that. We appreciate any and everybody who has downloaded the podcast, whether you listen to the whole thing or listen to 10, 15 minutes of it. It's appreciated. Like, 'cause you could be doing any fucking thing else with your time, but you choose to rock with us, and we appreciate it. That being said, this is your boy Ace. I want to wish everybody good luck who is trying to get the off white ones this week. We will talk to you all next week. Everybody be easy.
Peace.
Peace.